And this is our monthly introduction video call where we go through what is new in the Academy this month. This month is all about money. So addressing our fears that we have surrounding about money, around money, what is new in the CAF-Innate Members Academy, what new things we've put up for you, and we're also introducing our guest expert Rihanna today as well. So just a little bit of an introduction of who I am and Abigail. We are the founders of CAF-Innate Academy. It's a community for women over 40 who are going through different stages in their lives, reinventing themselves due to things happening in their personal life, in their businesses and everything. And we are here to support you through accountability, networking, and also through resources and knowledge, how-to videos, how to help you further your business along and build the life ultimately that you would like to lead. So that's what we are doing. I myself am Tiffany K. Baruso. I have my own business as well, helping women entrepreneurs with their online marketing. So it is a very lonely world out there as women entrepreneurs, and we need some help. And especially with this fast-paced world of online marketing, I provide the support in that aspect. And then Abigail is also going to introduce herself.
Yes, welcome to a new month, which is super exciting. So grateful that we get to celebrate August in South Africa. Obviously, this is Women's Month, so this is an auspicious month for us, and so grateful to have Rihanna as our guest expert. And so in this call, we're going to be discussing what that theme is all about, what our masterclass is all about. My name is Abigail. I am a content creator, educator, and consultant in the personal branding space for women over 40. And so it's all about expressing yourself confidently. And then together, collectively, Tiffany and I are creating a community for women to come and elevate their personal business and creative confidence. And we do that with the support of incredible guest experts like Rihanna, who come and share their knowledge, their insight, and their support, and most importantly, their accountability to helping us improve our various facets of our confidence. And so this month, the theme is all about making friends with money. And we would like to introduce Rihanna, who is our guest expert, who is teaching us and has created a fantastic masterclass about this topic. Tiffany, I think, has got some building work going on, so just needs to go and sort that out. There we go, back. The beauty of live calls. There we go.
Doors blowing shut.
Okay. So welcome, Rihanna. Thank you so much for joining us. Just give us a short bio before we dig into what is new inside the CAF-Innate Academy, and then we're going to explore deeper into your masterclass. So who are you and what do you do?
Hi, yeah, thanks for having me. It's quite exciting. So yes, Rihanna Avis. I'm a business and money coach, and I have a lot of IT experience. That's where my business coaching come from, and the money side came because from the business coaching side, because as I work with women and entrepreneurs, and we would look at their vision for their business, money became a sticky topic. So that's how that came about. So now I work with women entrepreneurs, mostly healers, helpers, therapists, to get better at their business and get a handle on the money, because they're so well trained in what they do. But when it comes to business and money, it's like floundering a bit. So that's where we need help and where I come in.
Fantastic. And so where are you currently based?
Well, I'm actually in the UK, a little place called Buckingham. Not quite Buckingham Palace, that's in London. So this is in Buckinghamshire, which is north of London, and we've been here for 2 years. But yes, I'm originally from South Africa, from the Cape, lived for 20 odd years in Johannesburg as well before I came to the UK, where I've been a long time.
Okay. And your clients, are they all over the world, or are you working with people one-to-one?
I work with people one-to-one. They are mostly clients from the UK, so several of them ex-South Africans, South African originally, from there originally. And I've got some clients in the US as well. So that's great, yeah. So, it's their morning time, my evening time overlapping. Obviously, with South Africans, it's easier because you're on a similar time frame, time zone.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to dig deeper into this topic of making friends with money. And it's such an important topic because I know, like you say, we entrepreneurs, we have our gifts, our talents and our skills. And that's what we generally get into business to express and use those talents and skills to help and serve others. And oftentimes it is the money aspect of business that kind of becomes the bottleneck that prevents the flow, the in and out of those skills and talents to more easily help more people. So we're going to dig into that a little bit deeper and just kind of get an idea of what you cover in the masterclass and what you are teaching. Before we do that, though, let's just take a deep dive into what is new inside the CAF-Innate this month, in the month of August. So I'm going to share my screen quickly. Let us see. So because this is a theme around money, we have, as we do every month, we have got our stock images. And these are images that our members can use to populate their whatever it is, their Instagram feeds, use on their images, on their websites, use in marketing materials. So we have an entire library of stock images that are related to money. And so that's the new, added to the library this month. Then we also have our tech toolkit, which is, let me see if I can share this one now. There needs to be an easier way of doing this because I keep jumping from one to the other. Let's go here, Chrome tab. Our tech toolkit. We have an optimizing your YouTube channel tech tutorial. So how you can, what are the tips and tricks you need to know to be able to optimize your channel and your videos every time you upload them to YouTube. So if you're wanting to get into the YouTube space, this is a tech tutorial that you're going to want to watch. And
also,
then
on that note, if I may interject, YouTube, video in general is huge and it will keep growing. And so getting a handle on how to optimize your videos on YouTube is super important because it serves YouTube is part of Google, and so you need to go in and you need to work those videos. It's great just recording them, but you need to put the right tags, the descriptions. Also, your whole channel needs to be a reflection of you and what you do and make it easy for people to get hold of you and everything. So it's really important for an SEO perspective that you do spend a little bit of time doing that. And so Abigail is really good at YouTube and videos, so she's created this super how-to tech tutorial.
Thank you. Yes, like video is where it's at. Seriously, if you're not on video, you don't exist. So that's just the fact these days. Right. And then the last thing besides our masterclass is that we have our reading list, which has been populated with suggestions from Rihanna herself. And so we are continuing this theme of making friends with money. And so we have a list of resources here that Rihanna has sent through on books or videos, podcasts, things that we can use to supplement our expression and just like exploration rather of making friends with money. And then inside the CAF-Innate crew community, we're also going to be holding each other accountable when it comes to our money. Rihanna has laid down a challenge with her masterclass for a daily activity relating to making friends with money. And so in our unique or our separate Telegram group, which is unique to the members of the CAF-Innate Academy, let me see if I can show you quickly. Then we are going to hold each other accountable. So this is where our conversations happen for our members of our community, and we are going to, yes, be making friends with money together. So if you're wanting to come and join and get in on all of this, then you can sign up at CAF-Innate.com/1-week, and you will get 1 week free access to all of this content for this month, as well as all the other content. And we can tell you that the toolkit is deep and rich with lots of information, masterclasses, courses, downloadables, resources that are available instantly on demand for you to build your personal business and creative confidence. And so, yeah, go ahead after this call and sign up at CAF-Innate.com/1-week and get yourself in there and go and explore. And on that note, let us come back to Rihanna and let's talk about making friends with money. Rihanna, give us your backstory, because it is such a great story, and I do love a good story. How, like, your personal journey of getting into realizing you have this natural affinity with making friends with money.
Well, yes, that's quite an interesting question. I never really knew that I had this natural affinity, but I remember the first time I got a little inkling of it was a friend of mine. She said, "How come you always know how much money you've got in the bank?" And, this was in the days before online banking, and it was, you still had to go physically to the bank to know, to get a balance statement and things like that. And I just seemed to automatically keep a tab in my head. Now, it wasn't 100% accurate, but within about 20, 50 Rand, maybe 100, I would know how much money I had, and she just didn't have a clue. And that was the first time I got this inkling that something's going on in my life that's not necessarily going on in somebody else's life. And then I qualified as a radiographer, worked at Tygerberg Hospital, and moved to Johannesburg, eventually gave up radiography, got into IT, and I worked with a woman who just got married, and she said, we want to pay off our mortgage within 10 years. And it's like, what? Pay off your mortgage in 10 years? I've never heard of anything like that. Mortgage, by the way, is the UK term for a bond. I don't know what you call it in South Africa these days. So, but they wanted to pay their house off like in 10 years. It's like, how do you do that? And she just said, well, you every time you just overpay on your mortgage. It's like, okay. Oh, that kind of makes sense. Didn't have kind of money at the time to overpay, but it sort of made sense. The other thing that happened while my children was very small, we had lots of people come around selling insurance. When I say lots, I remember 2 or 3 conversations, and the guys would always say, you got to put something away for the day that you can't work anymore, don't want to work anymore, when you retire and so on. And it was like, if only you knew what it takes to just make ends meet, let alone squeeze something off at the end of the day. Get out of my life. That was sort of my attitude. But some of this must have stuck somewhere along the lines. And then eventually I met a friend. I got into Toastmasters International quite heavily, and he was my mentor. And we had this discussion about money. And he said to me, he had this friend when he was a young man, and this guy always had money. And one day he asked this guy, how come you always have money? And he said, well, my mother gave me a great tip, and that was to save some money for myself every time I get paid. And so I just kind of onboarded all of this and started implementing it and practicing it. And so that, when I realized some of my clients had struggles with money, it was like, you know what? I know a thing or two that may be useful. So the Making Friends with Money, my course that came out of it, and all the rest, was all based on my personal experience of money, how I managed my money, how I struggled as a young mother, how I was chatting to my son the other day, and I said, I finally paid off my mortgage the third time.
Wow.
Because I also looked for a particular kind of mortgage where I could withdraw money from. It's very dangerous if you don't have any discipline with your money. And I became my own personal banker in a way. Mortgage paid off now, can't do that anymore, but that's the story.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, love. Is there echo on my side? You take over while I sort this out.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, and it is one of those subjects, and why do you think it is that they don't teach us this at school? Like, why is this something that we have to learn along the way through the school of hard knocks, rather than it being explicitly taught? Like, what is it about money education that A, why are we not taught it? And then B, why are so many of us resistant to it? Because there's that resistance of, okay, I need to get on top of this. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, so one of the reasons I think we're not getting taught it at school is because the teachers don't necessarily know. They can probably do with their own money mastery thing. And this is not, a lot of stuff that we learn at school, we learn by rote. It's in the head. It's not in the heart. You can't teach this if you don't have it here, if you don't have the experience of it, is my belief. And I think, so that's my first thought. Why is this not being taught at school? Because maybe it's not seen as something that's important. Maybe the teachers have their own issues with money. Maybe it's never come up in the curriculum that it's important. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. The other thing about why do we have such resistance, it comes from our experience as we grow up with money. How did our parents behave with money? Was there money around? Was there not money around? And we often think that it's only people that don't have money that have issues. One of the saddest stories I've ever heard was a family. Now, I don't know when this was, but this was about a family, a mother and her 3 daughters, and they were very, very poor. And one Easter, they were church going and all the rest. One Easter, the minister said, we're going to do something that's very kind here. We're going to collect money and give it to the poor people. And the mother and her 3 daughters, they scrimped and they saved and they put some pennies together and they took it to the church. And on Easter Sunday, all the money was collected. And then a couple of days later, the minister turns up at their home and he says, this is the money that we've collected for the poor. And until that moment, those girls didn't realize that they were poor.
Sure.
So that was, when I first read that, I was like, so sad, And also, it was the only money that was in this purse that was handed over. So here, the poorest people in the community, in the church, actually put something for the poor people, and all they get is what they've put in.
Sure.
Yeah. So yes, when you don't have money and you don't know you don't have money, it's not that much of an issue because you make things work. It's when we think we don't have money. We actually have more than we realize. But we also think that people who don't have money or don't have lots of it are the only people who have issues with money. Rich people can also have issues with money. There may be guilt. Look at all these people who are struggling, and I have all this money. I didn't work for it. I just inherited it. I don't have to do anything for it. And there can be just as much anguish around money for people who have money than for people that don't have money.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, a lot depends on the environment that we grow up in, and the world teaches us there's not enough money.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're so conditioned and influenced by what we see, you know, with our senses, what we experience, like you say, that it is such a fundamental, it goes so far deeper than that interaction and that experience. It's what we start to internalize about money, that really, it seems to be the root of all the, it's not, you know, the root of all evil is normally assigned to money, but it's not. The root of all of that anguish is assigned to our relationship with it, which is why I love the title of your masterclass being Making Friends with Money, because it's not the enemy. Money is not the enemy.
Money is nothing. Money is energy. You know, these Einstein, Niels Bohr, those guys, scientific guys, you know, they long ago they said, you know, everything is energy. But it's our relationship with money, that what we think about it. It's so important to us. It's about us. We feel safe when we have it. We don't feel safe when we don't have it. You know, one of the things I sometimes get my clients to do is, if money was a person, what would its name be? You know? So it's just that emotional thing that money just gets us. And when you say to people, but money is actually nothing, you know, it's energy. It's like, how can you say that? How can you say that? That's not where I came from. You know, that was not necessarily my thinking, my experience initially. I can think it now because I can look back. It's easier for me because I've made that journey. I've made peace with money. If I suddenly had to have no money whatsoever, would I be so at peace with money? I'm not going to be so arrogant and say, I'll be fine. You're fine in the moment. You know, as you sit there, you don't have money, you don't worry about the bills you have to pay, etc., etc. That's in that moment, you're fine. And that's sometimes what you have to hang on to when things get tough. Right now, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Tiffany, you want to go?
To test my microphone. Is the echo's gone?
It's fine, yeah.
Do you have a question? I just wanted to also have a little input here as well. I mean, I grew up with, we weren't poor, we weren't super wealthy, we were pretty much middle ground, and both my parents are entrepreneurial, so they were never employed while I was growing up, at least, and money was not a big issue. What I missed is, I know what you said about the schools not teaching this, but even our parents should be teaching us what our relationship should be with money. And if our parents come from a point of view of there is a negative association with money, that goes over onto the children. And I'm coming from a point of view, because I've got 2 young children, and I would like them to have a positive association with money, or maybe a neutral one. Like you say, it's energy. What comes in must go out. It needs to cycle. You can't just sit there and just hold on to it because it stagnates. The whole energy around you stagnates. And I've seen that in my business because of my parents' background being entrepreneurs. I naturally gravitated into that as well. And they're having to learn how to deal with money from a business point of view, but also from a personal point of view, that when I first went into it, I was bootstrapping everything. I tried to do everything with free things and held on to every single penny that I had. And I got to a point where everything stagnated. I wasn't getting any more. I was not covering the bills, to be honest with you. I was literally scraping every single cent for every month. And then I made a mental shift, and I read a lot of books. And one of the ones that you mentioned in the playlist, Rihanna, is Dave Ramsey. And so I implemented his budgeting techniques as well. And like you also say, you change your mindset that it's to try and take the emotion out of money, that it's just a transaction, and that the nature of it has to flow. So you have to invest in yourself, in your business, for something to come back. And I started implementing that, and I have found that my relationship with money has changed, like, what's it, 180 degrees, so the opposite. And I've never been good with numbers. Like, I had a fear towards that. Now I have budget meetings with my husband, and we discuss what we're saving for, and it makes it really exciting. You know, now we got a goal to work towards, and you can see it happening. And now I don't have the fear, because I had a huge fear of opening my bank account and seeing what was in there. So I would like just leave it, and then all of a sudden my card wouldn't work, or things like that. And it's very empowering becoming friends with money. It's a wonderful feeling once you've broken down that personal barrier that you're putting in your way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you know what? I mean, this is exactly what we touch on in making friends with money. When you have a friend, you meet up with them, you have dates with them, you go for coffee, you go for a meal, you have chats, you enjoy each other's company. But, you talk about money. I don't enjoy the company of money. Why would I have a money date? Why would I want to check out what's in my money account? Because I know that the numbers there is telling me I don't have enough. So this is a friend you don't want to meet up with. But the minute you sort of start saying, okay, so let's just have a little peek there and see what is there. What can we do about this? Can we meet up regularly? Just have a little short chat, see how things work, and you become friendly with money, and then the numbers don't become so scary. Then you can say, oh, if I did this and this and make these small changes, my account can be healthier. It's a little bit like putting your money on a diet, if you like, your account on a diet. So, if you eat a donut every day for a year, you're going to put on weight, And if you then start, okay, so I'm not going to stop eating that donut, you will lose weight. Okay, it's a slow process, but it's not that painful. It's a similar sort of thing. You often don't notice little changes. It's too small to notice. But after a year, you can notice, and as you say, it just becomes easier. You have a money date with your husband. You talk about goals, and your relationship shifted just because you were willing to go there. You're willing to put in the work, go there, look at the numbers, and now you can make the numbers work for you. You know what to make them work for you. Yeah. And you talked about. Sorry to interrupt. You talked about Dave Ramsey. He has, I don't know if I put this on the reading list. I can email the title of the book for you, but he's got a fantastic book that he did with his daughter about educating children about money. And it's wonderful. I mean, I didn't do a great job educating my children. I remember my son was probably about 19, 20. We have a money story going. And I sat him down one day and I read him. I told him, you need to do this, and this. But it was already a little bit late. I should have had more gentle conversations earlier on. It's very exciting for parents and very exciting for children to be given money to go and spend, and they spend it on sweeties, or they spend it on a toy. We don't necessarily encourage them to save a little bit and then spend the rest. And what would you like? Would you like a toy? Would you like that kind of toy? Yeah, well, we can save for it, and then every time they get pocket money, a little bit goes in the jar until they have the money to go and buy the toy that they wanted. I think it teaches them something as well.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with planning as well. It's like budgeting is planning what you're going to be spending your money on, what would you like to get in the future, and work towards it. And in baby steps, like you say, because if you try and do everything all at once, it's so overwhelming, you just shut down. So small little changes make a huge difference. And saving, i.e. valuing yourself, paying yourself first before the other things. Sometimes though, when you're living literally paycheck to paycheck, it's like, but I don't have money to pay myself. But you're looking at it from the other side. If you start paying yourself, even if it's, I don't know, £10, euros, or rands a month, you've got a plan. It's something that so you develop that habit of saving. There's so many aspects with money, and it's overwhelming. So that's why it was wonderful that we could get you as a guest expert on this hot topic of money. And I know a lot of the members have been saying we would like some more information about how to handle money and how to, not just the actual technical side. I mean, we've got in the members area, we've also got a pricing guide and lots of budgeting tips in there as well. But also, how do you handle it emotionally and your attitude towards money? Because that's the fundamental to handle first before you can tackle the other things. So your masterclass is brilliant for that, and the challenge as well to actually keep a money diary every single day to say, right, I'm going to work on my whole attitude towards money and make that commitment for the month. And we will be holding the members accountable during this month so that we can help them get onto the money positive journey. And yeah.
That's great. Yes, because when we feel this lack, when we feel like we don't have enough money, we feel vulnerable. We feel there's a lack of confidence. We feel that we just go and blow the money. We've got something now, so we just go and blow it. I mean, we don't have any anyway, so when we have it, why don't just blow it, and then we can get back to what's normal for us. And this is the other thing. We get used to our state of mind, our conditioning. Some people think, oh, it'll be tremendous if we can win the lottery. And then they have this money, and they don't have the emotional capacity, the energetic capability to hold that money. So very quickly, within a couple of years, that money's gone. Their lives are often ruined because they just didn't know how to handle it. And people, you can just go and Google, what happened to these people that won the lottery, and you hear some very, very sad stories. So we kind of get used to where we're comfortable. Oh yeah, he's very comfortable earning 20 grand a year. 30 grand. No, that's not me, So you almost have to kind of expand your mindset and say, so what would it feel like? What would it be like to earn 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand? And I remember going to a personal, actually it was probably more of a spiritual kind of awakening event that I went to. And this lady did a meditation where you just imagine, you hold, it was in pounds, so it's the energy of 200 pounds, and then the energy of 400 pounds, and then, and then you just amplify it like that. And people get uncomfortable, it gets to double and triple and 10 times that amount, and people get, I can't handle this. But it's okay, because you start playing, I don't know, do you run the marathon or anything like that? Or you learn swimming or something? You flounder. In the beginning, you flounder. But you keep practicing, and you get better. I mean, I learned to swim about 18 months ago, the breaststroke. And I'm pretty good at it now. I'm learning crawl now. But literally, it's baby step by baby steps. Okay, in this case with swimming, it's stroke by stroke, but still you get there in the end. And the other thing I want to say is it's never too late. It's never too late to start. So if you start, the earlier, the younger you are when you start, the sooner you start, the better. But it's never too late. I had somebody in her 70s join my class last year. She's done money classes before, money courses before. She says, I don't know what happened in your class, Rihanna, because this shifted something for me big time.
Sure.
Yeah. And some of the other ladies that have been on my courses, in their 50s and 60s, you know. But these days, you know, people live till they're 80.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to make friends with money at some point.
You've got to make friends with money. And there's going to come a point where you don't want to work as hard as you do now. When you say, I don't want to push anymore. I just want to do things that I really, really enjoy. And if you don't have a comfortable relationship with money at that point, it's going to be very hard. There's some knocking going out on the outside. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Will I go quiet and then?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I'm sure there's so many questions that will be coming up in the month on how we deal with money and making friends with money. So we have a live Q&A scheduled for the 13th of August at 11 a.m. So any questions that come up, doubts or comments, or just want to share your feelings and experiences, that's the call to do it in. So mark your diaries for August 13th at 11 o'clock. And we look forward to answering those questions. I'm going to be taking the challenge. I have watched the masterclass. I'm really excited. And I want to, because I fall in a bit of a bad habit. I mean, I do our monthly meeting, monthly budgets, like I said, but they're not as focused as they should be or have been in the beginning. So I want to revisit that. So I'm definitely going to be doing this challenge with everybody and taking part. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yes, me too. We have a dedicated room in our Telegram group where we're going to hold each other accountable for this daily practice. And Rihanna, I know if you haven't already, then you're going to get your invite to join the group so that you can come and connect with the members and help us keep each other accountable on this practice. And along with your masterclass, you've also included a worksheet that they can download to help them with this whole process. And I think the clear message here, what you've shared with us today and what you share in the masterclass as well, is that this is a process, and it's literally it's the compound effect. You talk about compound interest, but it's the compound impact of daily action, daily intentions. It's not the massive, huge hurdles that we overcome. It's in the daily practices. It's a small bite-sized chunks. And that makes it more manageable. It makes it far less of a scary friendship to embark on, because we're taking it in small doses, and that makes it easier to overall continue on the journey, start the journey and then continue on the journey. So I'm super excited as well. I think it's a brilliant topic for August. I think it's a good time for us all to get intentional with our money and money confidence, and helping us, just build that muscle, just like going to the gym, going to the pool, you've got to build that muscle. And so the money muscle is our focused intention for this month. So we're super excited about that. It's going to be amazing. So put that in your diary if you're wanting to keep track and come along for this money journey. Come and join us on the 13th of August, where you'll have the opportunity to ask Rihanna more insightful and experiential questions. Because if you're going along this process, when you're in it, you're going to have a very different experience of it than if you're looking at it from the inside. So we want to encourage you to come along for that journey. definitely.
Lovely. And then also, if you want to find out about more about Rihanna, follow her on Facebook. Here's her website, rihannaevis.com, and her Facebook, Pragmatic Solutions for You. So yeah, that's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, let's have an abundant month of August and make friends with money. I mean, if you are having resistance right now, that's okay. Accept it, acknowledge it. We are all on the same journey and we can all do it together. So we are there for you, and let's change it a little bit. Let's change our whole attitude to money.
Yeah. Any parting words, Rihanna, any advice that you would share with somebody who is considering embarking on this journey with us through your masterclass? What would you say to them?
If you're feeling the resistance, just breathe through it and come along, because that is your prompt from the universe to say, do for yourself.
Yes.
At the end of the day, you're doing it for nobody else but yourself. So I want you to value yourself enough to give yourself this gift. Value yourself enough. You are so worth it. You are so worth so much more than just this. But value yourself enough to give yourself this gift. You won't regret it. You can only go forward. And yes, people fall off the wagon and things may go a little bit haywire. Like you said earlier, your goals with your money is not so as focused as it can be anymore. You just get back on it. And this is the other thing. Once you get that habit in place, managing your money is actually quite boring. You do it and you forget about it because it becomes a habit. But if you feel the resistance, I urge you, come, join us, because this is for you.
Incredible. This has been wonderful. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a great month, and looking forward to seeing and experiencing the impact and the results of what you are teaching us and holding space for all of us and guiding us through it all. So thank you so much, Rihanna. It's been wonderful.
You're welcome. Nice to chat to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. And so that's it. Same place, same time on the 13th of August. The three of us will be back here again, talking money again. So put it in your diaries. If you want to become a member of the Academy so that you can watch the masterclass, get access to all of the resources that are available, and to join us on this accountability journey, then there's your 1 week link so that you can tap right in and see what it's all about and see if it's the right fit for you. We know that it will be, but you need to come and experience it for yourself. And here, as Tiffany has said, here's to an abundant August. Cool.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.